Hey, what's going on, everybody? Paul James here. Welcome to today's live stream here on YouTube. Haven't done one of these in a while, but I'm really excited for it. Today, we're going to be talking about how to start a software company. And the cool part is we're going to talk about how you can get started with it, even if you don't know how to code, and even if you don't have a lot of money to spend. And we're going to show you this based on what we've actually done. So I've got John Shea here with us today. So John, if you want to go ahead and say hello.
What's going on, everybody?
So thanks for being here with me, John. We're going to basically walk through kind of some of the things we've done. John and I have worked together on some things in the past. So I think it'll be pretty cool to give you guys some insight on, what I've done and then, kind of what John and I have done together. And I just think it'll be some great insight. So as you're popping in here, feel free to go in the chat box and say, hey, or say where you're calling in from. As you guys know, I'm from West Bend, Wisconsin. John is from, I don't know, what part of Massachusetts are you from?
It's a small town called Methuen. It's about an hour outside of Boston, roughly.
All right, cool. So yeah, so it's gonna be awesome. I think I want to start off by sharing my screen and showing you some of the proof, I guess, I think would be good. So let me do a screen share here.
I should have asked you before we started, but is there a way for me to see the questions too? Because I know we're running this through Zoom. And
yeah, actually, you can just go to my YouTube channel and then you can click on the video that shows that it's live, and then you'll see the chat box. Everyone can see the chat.
All right, cool.
It's kind of delayed though, so questions will come through, and it might be like from a minute or two ago.
All right, cool. All right, yeah, I do see the live chat. I don't know if stuff will come in there. Maybe.
Yeah, that's where it comes through, but yeah, it's definitely delayed. That's the one thing I like better about the mobile version of YouTube Live, because it comes instantly on your phone. But when you're doing it through the desktop like this, it's very, very delayed, and it's kind of annoying. But whatever,
Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer, but
we'll make do.
Yeah, if you guys have questions, like we'll wait and make sure we get to you guys.
Awesome. Hey Joe, what's going on? I know Joe is already getting into the software stuff with us, so that's pretty awesome. Hey Jeffrey says great topic. Yeah, it's an awesome topic. I'll agree with you on that one. So yeah, let's just kind of go through some of the slides. John, can you see that software as a service thing? Okay.
Let me see. I think I can. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I just want to show you some of the things that I've done with software since I got started, because I'm kind of in the same boat that you may be in, which is I don't know how to code. I have very limited knowledge of coding. I can do some HTML stuff, the basics, change a font to bold and italicize stuff, stuff like that, but nothing crazy. Like I can't go and do function type stuff. And then also I built these companies that I'm going to show you with not a lot of money. And this one in particular, 162,000 almost through my Stripe account on this one. This is recurring revenue. And I'm not showing you this stuff to brag or anything like that, but I just want to show you what's possible. I'm also not saying that these are typical results or that you're going to go out there and get the same results, because I don't know you. I don't know your experience, but I just want to show you today what's working for me and then what I shared with John, and it worked for John too. So anyways, this one was built for around $3,000. I think a little less than that. This one's a mobile app, 14,000 that ran through that one. This is in an entirely new niche. So I literally leveraged no existing connections that I had. It wasn't in like the SEO niche or anything like that. So it was an entirely new niche for me, which I think is important, because I think a lot of people, when they see things that I'm sharing and things that I'm doing, they think, well, hey, Paul, you've got a lot of experience, whereas I'm just a beginner. Well, you can do this stuff even if you're going into something new, entirely different. This one's a simple web scraper I built. This is 19,000. This was in 2 separate launches. So it was kind of like a 2-phase thing. I launched it once, cleared over 11 grand, launched it again, cleared almost 8 grand. So a simple web scraper is basically like, picture like yellowpages.com, right? And you go there and you type in something, maybe you're looking for a plumber. Well, when you see the results, Bob's Plumbing, and then you see phone numbers and addresses, you could create like a web scraper that went and collected that data and collected all the names of the businesses, all the phone numbers of the businesses, all the addresses. So it basically is like an automation tool, right? And that's what scrapers are all about. So I like to build those once in a while. This is another simple scraper / lead collector tool that I built. And this one did a total of almost 63,000. Again, this is a 2-phase launch. The first time around, we did 30,500. The second time around, we actually did better, over 32,000, which is pretty impressive. And what do all these have in common? Well, I didn't code any of them because, again, I don't know how. Some of them were coded for as little as $300. So when you saw some of those profits were a little lower than the others, just know that that's because the investment to get them coded was a lot smaller. The maximum spend was no more than $3,000. And the bulk of the money was made in the first 7 days of release, which I think is pretty cool. And that's why some of the income figures that I showed were 2-part launches, right? Because we closed it off and then we reopened it again. And the turnaround time to get these to market was about 1 month. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. Let me back out of this PowerPoint presentation here. I can show you guys some more stuff maybe later on. Just remind me, John, if I forget.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, cool. So yeah, again, guys, welcome to the live stream. Today, we're talking about how to start a software company. And I see we got quite a few people in here watching. So that's awesome. Feel free to participate in the chat box. And John, what do you want to go into next?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, some people have gotten to see some of the results. I don't know if, I think the biggest thing that I know I was always curious about when starting out with this stuff is like what kinds of software people were creating. So you've kind of shown people what's really possible with all this. I don't know if you wanted to go into like what some of the tools are and maybe show some people examples of some of the lower end stuff. And you could maybe even show them Requestimate, which I know is one of your bigger software, tools that you've built. Yeah.
Why don't we do that? So why don't I start off by showing the lower stuff, and then we'll kind of go into some of the higher stuff. So I think some of the lower stuff would be like the scrapers that I was talking about, because that's stuff that can be built for fairly cheap. So let me show my screen again, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. So this is kind of like what a simple scraper looks like. And I know it might be a little hard to see because I'm on a pretty high resolution monitor. So you may want to make this full screen. But this one is a scraper. You enter in your keyword. So maybe you wanted to search for plumber. You enter in your location. Maybe it's West Bend, Wisconsin, and you select your country. In this case, we only built in support for the US and the UK. And then you would search and it would spit out a bunch of leads. It would spit out the phone numbers, the websites, the emails, the address, whether or not they were verified or not. And this was one that was built for Yahoo. So we were scraping Yahoo to see what businesses had verified their listings. And then you could actually export the results into a CSV file. So that's one example of a scraper. Another example, which I know probably many of you may even have this software, is called Mobile Lead Scout. So Mobile Lead Scout is a tool that goes and searches for mobile-friendly websites. Hey, what's up, Benjamin? Welcome, welcome. So obviously, mobile-friendly websites are important for those of us who are doing local marketing, because you need those to rank well in Google. Otherwise, you can get hit with a penalty that keeps you from ranking well. So this tool lets you basically enter in a keyword and a location, and then it goes through Google and it finds all the websites that aren't mobile friendly, which is great. Okay, let's see. Someone says, I'm too dumb for this stuff. I don't understand a thing, but I want to learn through. I want to learn though. I'm 21. Is it too late to learn? No, it's never too late to learn, Frank. So we're going to break things down in a really simple way. So, I think you need to give yourself some more credit.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So yeah, this tool goes and finds mobile websites is the basic premise of it, or websites that aren't mobile friendly so that you can, sell them a mobile website. So those are some of the more simple ones. These ones are built on what's called Adobe Air. That's the language it was built on. And Adobe Air is a great language if you're doing desktop software. So the concept is that you don't want to have to build a separate website or separate software for Mac and a separate software for PC. You can just build one software for Adobe Air, and Adobe Air runs on both Mac and PC. So those are kind of the more basic ones. And then if we were to go and talk a little bit more about software as a service, or abbreviated SaaS, which is what I think John and I really kind of lean towards nowadays, because of the recurring revenue, right? So you get one fee at the beginning, and then that customer keeps paying you over and over again. That's kind of the beauty about software as a service, is that it's just like it sounds like. It's basically a service that people pay for. So this is kind of an advanced web scraper. And this one was built out as a software as a service. It has, a login where you log into the dashboard. I can actually show you what that looks like. So in order to even access it, you come to a dashboard where you enter in your email and password, and then it brings you to a page that looks like this. So it's kind of just a more sophisticated scraper. And this one was built for people who did SEO and they were looking for SEO clients. And basically the concept behind it is a really good method for landing SEO clients is offering trial rankings. So kind of letting people try your service before they buy it. And the idea is if you can find people who aren't ranking on the first page for a trial keyword, like maybe best plumber in Milwaukee, and then also find people who aren't ranking on the main page for the money keyword. And money keyword is a keyword that you would end up charging them money for. So something more competitive, like maybe plumber Milwaukee. So the concept is that it's going to be really easy to rank someone for best plumber in Milwaukee because it's a long tail, whereas the money keyword, it's going to be a little more difficult, and that's why you're going to charge them for this, for the money keyword. So this tool goes and you enter in a proxy and you do a search, and it pulls all of the people who aren't ranking on the first page for their trial keyword and aren't ranking on the first page for the money keyword, so that you can go and you can offer them a free trial of your SEO services. So again, just kind of a very basic software, but this one was kind of turned into more of a sophisticated thing as a software as a service. So just another example. And I'm going to show you a more advanced example of what you could build. So this one is a tool called Requestimate that I built. And I built this one out because I didn't want to meet with clients face to face. I didn't, clients weren't taking me seriously. And it was a way to leverage some of the assets that I had. So I had websites that were already ranked, that had leads coming in, but I didn't have anyone to buy the leads. So I built this tool. And what it is it allows you to create a new form, and you can basically drag in elements. So you can see how this is a lot more, sophisticated than what I showed previously. You can edit it. You can say, I want this to be a first name field. So we can call this first name. And then we can get rid of the help and save it, and boom. So it basically really lets you customize things. We can name this, demo form for YouTube. And then if we save that, obviously you could keep going. What it allows you to do then is enter in a sender name. Maybe we'll say Paul at pauljames.com. And then you enter in a list of, maybe 10 different people you want to send leads to. So maybe you want to send leads to Bob at bob.com, maybe Troy at troy.com. These are people that you think you may want to work with. And then you customize the email. And what's cool about this is it pulls in the form tags that you created, and you can choose which ones you want to send out to them. So let me show you on a demo form that I created over here for a roofing company. So on this one, we have multiple fields. We have first and last name, phone, email, city, service, whether they want repair or installation. So we've got like kind of a bunch of different fields. Well, the idea is I don't want to send someone who isn't buying the leads yet, all of them. So instead I send them something like this. The email subject line might say, need a quote for roof service in city. So if they select repair, it would replace this with need a quote for roof repair in whatever city they enter in, maybe Milwaukee. And then the email body comes in and says, hey, are you able to provide a ballpark estimate on this? I'm looking to get a roof repair. I'm located in city, whatever city it is, and then more info. And this is all going to be generated based on what the person fills out. So here's what happens. I take this form, it has a custom embed right here, and I embed this form on my website so that whenever someone comes and fills it out, the lead is automatically sent to, those 10 people that I might want to work with. And then when they reply, I work out a deal with them to give them the rest of the lead info. So again, you don't really need to understand the concept of the software so much, but I just wanted to show you something that was more sophisticated. So this one cost a little more to build, but because it was more sophisticated, generated a significant amount more in revenue, and continues to because this is recurring revenue. So let me pass it over to John. John, if you're ready, I'll pass it over to you and you can show them what you've built.
Yeah, sure. I did also see there's a few questions coming through. Maybe we could answer those really quick.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do that.
Joe is saying, who would typically need the scraper data? I guess that really depends on what you're doing. I know with Paul's case, I found Paul because he was giving away one of his software tools. It was a scraper that I think at the time It helped find people that specifically, like, you're just looking for mobile websites or different things that like had issues. I forget the exact, like, it was years ago, but
Yeah.
that was kind of, for me, I was able to go out and find more customers a lot faster for what I was trying to do, which was website design, or help them with any form of digital marketing, maybe SEO, or helping them with advertising, things like that, rebuilding their websites, all kinds of different things. And then let's see, had a few other questions. How about a YouTube application? That is something you could definitely do. I've seen, we're actually, I referred Paul to a really sweet application called TubeBuddy, and that one has all kinds of integrations with YouTube. So there's tons of potential of things that you could be doing around that angle if you are maybe interested in building something that could help people with YouTube. I know, like, for example, with this software, it like shows you how well ranked your tags are. So if you go look at another YouTube video, you could do comparisons of, how hard it might be to rank for a specific keyword. You could see how well you're ranked for certain keywords based on the video tags. So some really cool stuff you could do if you decided to do a YouTube application, for sure.
Yeah. I see Chris is saying he came in late, and what is this all about in a nutshell? So let's just do a quick recap for anyone who did come in late.
Yeah.
We're talking about how to start a software company, even if you don't know how to code. And if you don't have a lot of money to do it, we're going to show you how basically we get 5 to 50 times ROI on our investments every time when we, follow this method that we're basically breaking down. So yeah, definitely stick around if you're interested in doing that. Hit the thumbs up button if you're interested in this topic, and that will let us know that we're on track here.
I see Ben was looking for a shout out for his friend, Anthony P. I guess, Anthony, check this, come back and rewatch this. If you send him the live replay, we'll definitely, I think he'll get a lot of benefit out of this. Jeffrey says, my team was just talking this morning about creating a digital product for a network marketer to help them in their business. Yeah. So, I mean, stick around. I think you'll be surprised at some of the stuff we're showing you. I know Paul just kind of went through some of his stuff. I'll show you a few ideas. So let me see. I think here at the bottom, I can just share the screen, right?
You can. I think I might need to make you a host, but why don't you try it first to see if it works?
Yeah, it says disabled participant screen sharing, so you might have to make me a host.
Okay. All right, you are the host.
All right, so I had to pull up YouTube in order to see the screen share, the actual live video, so you might have to do the same, but maybe you guys throw something in the chat box if you see Evolutly up.
Yeah, we can see it.
All right, cool. So I was working for a digital marketing agency for about a year. And while we worked there, they were using this very expensive software called Teamwork. And that's a great piece of software. It actually was a project management tool. And that's what we were using to kind of communicate amongst the team internally, how we kind of like kept all our files for the clients, how we were doing tasks, and just everything that we were doing. But the problem was that it didn't really cater to like specific needs of an agency. I just found that all the time we were trying to kind of create the wheel. The owner would always, like, every 2 months be like, here's our new plan. And he would try to incorporate it, and he would try to have everybody follow that within Teamwork. And it just really wasn't working. It was like, hey, we have this system, we're going to try to follow it. And the tool just didn't really do a very good job of allowing us to like keep track of what's going on. The thing that I really hated about it was I was managing, at the time, I think almost 20 clients. It was probably about 15 to 20 clients at any given time, depending on who is kind of coming and going. Some people were being passed to me temporarily. So what would happen is I wouldn't have like a really good way of determining like where somebody was at, and with SEO and doing digital marketing, such as like Google AdWords and other things that I need to be doing on a regular basis, it's very hard to keep track of like how much you've done work for a specific person. And they weren't doing any sort of time tracking. Like, we didn't track any of that. So I kind of had to look more based on maybe by month. So if you figure maybe you bring in a new client, you're going to be doing something like web design or any of these projects like AdWords, Facebook ads, anything that could be digital marketing related. You just need some way of doing this, consistently, and you could follow that same structure for everybody. So I found very quickly that Teamwork just wasn't a good solution. And the other thing I found was that every time we brought on a client, they were actually, basically using this Word document that had a bunch of questions on it. They would get on the phone with the client And during the closing process of finding out like, what are your passwords? How do I get into your website? How do I, get all the information I need to get going? We had to get on the phone and then go through everything and fill out this Word document manually. And I just thought it was a little ridiculous. So the onboarding process wasn't that great. I thought it would have been cooler, like just send the client like a form and have them fill out all the questions and then have all that data go into a specific area. So I went to Paul and I kind of said, hey, I have this idea, and he really liked it. So Paul kind of helped me with his own back end, I guess you could say. Like, he already had worked with developers. He kind of guided me a little bit on the process of creating a software tool. And we came up with the name Evolutly, which is sort of a spin-off of the word evolution. And we decided to create a tool that would do this. And the great part about this, and that got me so excited, was we were able to do this for under a couple $1,000s. It took me, because this software was a little more complex, I'll show you it in a second. We won't do a full demo, but I'll give you a very brief overview. We were able to basically create this entire thing for under a couple $1,000s. And a lot of people are very shocked by that, like, you actually made something that is better than a lot of the other software that does project management for what we need. And you're able to do it for such a small amount of money. Really blows people away. And that's because we were able to utilize a developer that mostly it was overseas. And, we were able to throw out a price and kind of give him an idea of like, here's what we need. And I just basically work back and forth with the developer over time to get everything done. So I'm not going to go through the whole sales page, but that's basically the idea. It's to manage your tasks and onboard clients. So I'm logged in now, and I'll kind of give you an idea. So let's say, this is my client, Bob the plumber. You can actually come in and create campaigns. So I talked about having like a month by month piece where you could, set up different things. So here's kind of an example. You could have, set up Google My Business. And then beneath that, you can have all these subtasks. So maybe within setting up Google My Business, you're going to be adding business categories or adding photos. And you can assign this to specific people. You can add a priority. We even added like this integrated point system. We added in some cool stuff so you can see like the status. You can add links, a description. You can make comments on this. So if the team needs to see things, or maybe you need to add some extra notes. There's an activity log, so you can see when activity was made on the tasks. And another really cool thing was that while I was at that agency, I was like, man, we're doing a lot of training. So I added this little video capability. You can have an embedded video within the tasks. So you could use this to train assistants or employees on these specific tasks. So that's kind of a rundown. We also added in like a form capability. So, you could go in and add like specific questions and then embed this to a website. What's your current domain? Who's your current web host? What's the username? What's the password? And then you could add in the capability to have them upload files, and you can embed this and then send this to your client. So they can go and fill this out. And then now you don't have to go through the process of like trying to do it manually over the phone. So that was kind of a basic idea of Evolutly. To give you an idea, we actually launched this with the help, obviously, of Paul. We launched this together, just the two of us, to our existing following. And we were able to bring in about $12,000 in sales in under 7 days. So we basically made a 10 times return on our investment. Since we split the cost, it was $1,000 for each of us. And then we split the profits 50-50. So we each made a little over $5,000. So
I actually think it was over 13,000 as well. And that's recurring revenue too, guys. So that's what we obtain a customer once and then they pay, over and over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, they're essentially, we got them on a yearly plan. So that's $13,000 yearly that these guys are paying. And we've had really great feedback on the software. And then the idea is that we could keep improving it. We have people that are utilizing it, and they're able to, get more done within their agency and working with clients. So what I wanted to do is, obviously you guys kind of get the idea. Like, I was in a situation where I had a very specific pain point. And that was, I figured out while I worked at that agency, I didn't really have a good solution for managing the clients. So I was playing around with some other tools. Like, I was trying Trello, and that had a lot of things I liked even more than teamwork. But this solution that I designed kind of took the things that teamwork didn't have. So for example, on the dashboard, I have this check status, so you can see how far along like the campaigns were. this was a big pain point, like with Trello or Teamwork, I had no idea how far along people were. So these were the things I thought about in my head, as I was going through my own pains. So I guess for you guys, you have to think about, what are you doing on a day-to-day basis that you think you could help people with? Maybe you're spending time on, someone mentioned YouTube. Maybe you're spending time on YouTube and thinking, man, it would be great if I had the capability to like track my rankings on YouTube, or maybe I wish I could have a better way of researching how competitive these keywords are. Like those are ideas for softwares that you could create. Anything else that you're doing, like maybe in your day job, if you hear other people talking about things, I know commonly in Facebook groups. So I wanted to show you guys a couple ideas on ways you could come up with ideas and see how kind of popular some of this stuff is. So the first way I would do this is head over to jbzoo.com. You will have to create an account. It is free. There's no charge to create an account. And what you want to do, I'll actually do this from scratch so you guys can see the full process. So this is basically what happens when you log in. This shows your stats. This is a platform that's utilized for selling products. So you could sell your own products or sell other people's products. And once you're in the back end here of JBZoo, you can actually go over to the top sellers list. This is probably what I would do. You could look around as well at past products, but for right now, we'll just do top sellers. And you can see these are products that are being sold right now that are live, and you can kind of see what's popular. So for example, I just saw this one here called Flexi Lifetime. You can click on this and it's going to bring you to their page. I'm going to probably need to pause the video here. Just make sure. So I went through this already, and this is actually a software that somebody built that has some sort of voice integration. So you could build like landing pages or whatever by talking to a software and using your microphone. So this is an ingenious idea that somebody came up with, and now they're selling this as a software, and they're probably making hundreds, if not thousands of dollars from selling this over on JVZoo, getting people like affiliates on board to help them promote the software and utilizing lots of different people's email lists. So what I like to do is actually look through some of these, and something that you could consider is actually looking at some of these softwares. A lot of the pages have like demos where you can watch and see what they do. And what you could potentially do, and I've seen people do this, is look at some of the things other people are doing and maybe see if there's a way that you don't necessarily want to steal, obviously, an idea. But I have seen in some cases that I interviewed someone years ago that they were building a WordPress plugin that was a combination of different softwares that they were kind of doing a few things like really, really well. And he wanted to combine a bunch of different ideas into one plugin and sort of make a glorified solution to a bunch of different things. So that's a really easy way that you could come up with something. So I would definitely say, this is kind of what's hot right now. You could go through and look at some of this stuff. You can even go and if you go to the affiliates, and I think, let's see, actually, if you go to product library and then product library, this is what I was looking for. You could sort by different categories and kind of figure stuff out there. You can also, here it is here, affiliates, find products. You could sort and see what's actually selling. You can filter in here like by what's actually being sold, and you can filter by date as well. So obviously we'd probably want some stuff that's maybe a little bit newer, kind of get an idea of stuff that is doing really well and see, hey, what could I be doing with this? Like here's some stuff these guys made, like Video Oz or Video Maker, some really interesting stuff that's all based around software. I think Zappable, I think that's mobile app type stuff. There's tons and tons of things that people are creating. So another thing you have to keep in mind as well is that I've noticed a lot of people as of lately, here's an example, Facebook bots have gotten really popular over the last probably 6 months or so. And there's a lot of people making software around that idea. So there's no reason you couldn't necessarily go out there and maybe make something. Maybe you wanted to make your own Facebook bot, but you wanted to focus on something more specific or add features that some of the other tools don't have. And I've been seeing that quite a bit. So those are ideas you can look at, is when you're looking at other people's softwares, seeing what's popular. Maybe you could come up with something that solves something more specific in terms of a pain point or a solution, and come up with ways to do it better. That would be a way to kind of look at some of this stuff. But obviously you don't want to go straight out steal somebody else's software. That's the biggest thing I want to come across here.
Yeah, I think a good example too of what you're talking about, there's a software out there called SERPed, And what they did was they combined a lot of different things, exactly like you're talking about. They took, you could buy a separate rank tracker from, SERPbook or Pro Rank Tracker. Well, they built their own, and then they combined it with a reporting tool to actually like go and give clients an SEO report. Well, you could go out and you could use another tool like WooRank or like Jux SEO, but they combine that into their tool. And then they have other stuff in there as well. Like they have a backlink tracker. Well, you could go out and buy Majestic or Ahrefs, but they have it in there. So they kind of combined all these tools into one fee so that you just use their one tool.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. And a lot of people do that. So, I mean, that's kind of where you don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel with some of this stuff. If you think maybe you could come up with a better solution, then that's definitely an angle. Another thing that I want you guys to keep in mind is that, some people look at something and they go, oh, well, there's too many people already in that space. If there's a lot of people already doing something, then that means there's a market for it. That's why even, I kind of laugh about it sometimes, but me and Paul almost have we have an info product that's almost competing with one another, but we've actually like promoted the same product to our own email lists. We teach like the same thing almost in a way, but a little bit different style. And the reason that we're both doing it is because it's both very, it's a popular topic. So there's a lot of opportunity out there regardless. You can't necessarily look at all these things and just kind of look at it like, oh, I don't want to do that. If there's people doing it already, then that means there's a market for it.
For sure.
Some other ideas in terms of like finding stuff, you could also head over to Warrior Plus. It's a pretty similar platform to JVZoo. I'm not going to go through what it is, but basically you can see right when you hit the homepage, you can see some of the popular stuff. Like this is a WordPress plugin that's being sold called WP Content Guard. I don't even have to go look at the sales page. I already know that it's probably a plugin that helps protect your content. And that's a really simple idea that someone probably had developed through a WordPress plugin. I bet it's not even that complex. Probably didn't cost them more than a couple thousand. I mean, that might even be a few $100, software tool, and something that you could, go and sell in a place like this and make a lot of money because you're solving a pain that maybe someone doesn't want their content getting stolen off their websites, or copied. So some really interesting stuff that you can find seeing what other people are doing. So there's definitely lots of opportunity. You can go through both JVZoo and Warrior Plus. Another place you could check out is a website called Muncheye. And this is actually where you can see a lot of upcoming products that are being launched. So this is a good opportunity to see like what's up and coming in terms of what people are building. Here's someone launching something called Matry app. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's obviously software, easy review videos. Some of these things, SynBuddy, like that sounds like software. I know Joshua does a lot of software. Paul has promoted some of his stuff.
Yep.
There's lots of different opportunities here. You can kind of see what some of these other guys are doing, see what they do. And, here's another fast traffic bot. Like that sounds like software to me. Lots of different ideas you can come up with just looking at some of the things other people are doing over on muncheye.com. And the other thing that I really like to do is, in my case, obviously, I went to Paul and he kind of had the advantage where he had already worked with software developers and done some of the things like put out these softwares in the past. I love the idea of going and finding a joint venture partner to work together on some of these things because you're going to have someone you can kind of work with over time. So what I would suggest, and this is just one of many places you could do this, is if you head to a place like the Warrior Forum, you can actually go to their forums section here at the top, and there's a whole subsection called joint ventures. And I'll just pop in there really quick. You want to make sure you read the rules, but there's a lot of people in here looking to partner up with people. And, here's the product creator, lots of different people that are just looking for help, to basically work together on something. And you could come in here and start a thread and be like, hey, I have this idea. I want to go build a software about YouTube. Let's work on it together. And you're going to get people in here who are already in this industry. Maybe they have some experience, people that have already been doing this stuff. And you can see how many opportunities there are. People looking, like here's a guy looking to invest $1,000 to $10,000 in your product or idea. He got a lot of replies, but this is the kind of stuff that you could go find if you head over to a place like the Warrior Forum. So I don't want you to feel like, hey, I have to go into this alone. Obviously Paul did a lot of his softwares like that, but I would say it's entirely up to you. This is something I personally love doing. I like working with partners. if you find the right person that, you can get on the phone with every week and you can, kind of crank out an idea from start to finish, this is a really awesome way to just go out there and, find someone who's kind of thinking the same way you are. And there's just so much opportunity here. I mean, this is tons and tons of threads. You can see all the opportunity here. So there's a lot of other forums as well where you can find similar opportunity. I know, I think Wicked Forums, I think it was called, or I'm trying to remember the name. There's a few others that are out there. I know there's a couple, like if you were to even look on Black Hat World, that's another place. Maybe if you were doing a lot of different money-making software, that might be a great place to go. But really anything, you could come here. It doesn't necessarily have to be even related to internet marketing per se. You could always come here and say, hey, I have an idea. Let's do something together.
The other thing you can do is you can use those forums to sell your software, or you can use the forums to kind of build an existing audience by maybe packaging up a PDF report or an ebook that basically talks about, the method that your software revolves around. So like, for example, I did this once. We created the mobile product, Mobile Lead Scout. But what we did was we packaged a training around how you can go and make money by finding people who don't have mobile friendly websites and actually selling them a mobile friendly website. So, you can actually do that to even build up an existing audience before you even sell your software if you wanted.
Yeah, for sure. That's a really good idea. And, I think another thing that's important is, somewhat validating some of this stuff. I know we talked about that. We just did a live event where we talked a lot about, going out there and doing like market research to determine, if this is something that's going to really be a hit, and find out that what people are really looking for and the pains they're experiencing, things like that.
For sure.
So yeah, I guess, do we want to kind of do the big reveal here?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So basically you guys have seen some of the results that Paul has. You've seen what I was able to do. I kind of took an idea from a pain point that I had, and then I decided to go and create it. Now, something that I've been doing for years that I absolutely love is creating online courses. That's something I've just been doing for the last 4 years, and I absolutely love it. So I went to Paul and I said, why don't we create a step-by-step kind of plan on how we built Evolutly? This will include everything from start to finish, a completely comprehensive course that would cover all of this. And Paul loved the idea. So we came up with the name. We call it SaaS Evolution, or Software as a Service is what SaaS stands for. And we decided to put together a course that's very comprehensive. It's actually 6 weeks long. So I wanted to walk you guys through kind of an idea of what this is all about. And for those of you watching here on YouTube, we have a special discount code where you can actually get into the program on a huge discount over what we're selling it to the public. Right now it's $9.97 to the public. We're actually going to be letting you guys come in for just $297. So for $300, you can come in and you're going to get pretty much an exact blueprint of everything that we've done to go and build our Evolutly software. And a lot of the same principles apply to what Paul has done with his software. So it really is something you could come in and you're going to learn how to come up with your own idea, all the different things to get this going. So let me kind of give you a breakdown of what you're going to get, and then I'll walk you through the actual syllabus of what's inside the course. So you're going to learn all the benefits of actually building this. I think we've kind of covered that in this live chat as well. You're going to be able to come up with your own unique idea. I touched upon some of that stuff as well, using market research to actually find customers who are willing to pay. I'm going to dig a lot more into finding the joint venture partner, which is something that as I said, I love doing that. And I think it's a huge opportunity if you find the right person. You're going to learn how to hire your first developer to build your software. So you're not going to be coding it yourself. You're not going to need to learn how to code. You're actually going to learn how to go find a developer very inexpensively. You're going to learn how to really work and communicate with that developer over time, how to test and do quality assurance to make sure your software is really solid prior to launching. You don't have any bugs. This is something that you're going to be able to go out there and really hit it home with, and people aren't going to be like, why is this broken? You're going to know how to really dig into it. You're going to kind of go through what I like to call a beta phase or beta testing. So you can get people in, testing it out, making sure it's actually good before you launch it. I'm going to show you how to even create training videos. So a lot of people, they'll put out software, but they might not make training with it. This is something that we've actually created info products quite a bit. So we like doing training not only for how to use a software, but maybe additional training you could utilize to help them make the most out of their software. Maybe, for example, Paul talked about, he's got tools on how to go scrape leads for people that don't have mobile friendly websites. Maybe you could make a training course in addition to that that shows people how to go, take the list of people that you just got that don't have mobile sites and approach them the right way, so you can close them down and build them really nice websites and make a lot of money doing that. So that'd be kind of a way that you could combine, your idea, go out there and create training. And then we'll show you how to market and launch the software and how to support your users and grow the software long-term, especially if you decide to do something that's got a recurring element to it. As you saw with things like Evolutly or Paul's Requestimate, those are both recurring softwares, but maybe things like the scraper that are a little bit more basic, he might charge a one-time fee, like a $17 or a $27 price. And really that's going to be all about, getting volume, hundreds of people to buy it and making thousands of dollars. So let me walk you through the syllabus and kind of give you an idea of what you're going to get inside this. And again, I'm actually the one teaching most of this. And I know a lot of people personally who've came to me and, they've gone through my courses. They generally buy from people. So if you guys like the way that I'm presenting right now, if you are enjoying my style, how I'm showing you things, that's pretty much what you're going to get inside the course. And, another thing I wanted to mention is I'm always available to help. If you reach out to me, most of the emails I get, I actually respond to people with video, believe it or not. I found that it's faster for me to respond with a video now using this cool little browser plugin I have called Loom than typing out emails. So if you come into this course and you're like, hey, I'm stuck, or hey, I'm really stuck on trying to come up with an idea, then I might even reply to you with a video. So I just wanted to throw that out there. It's not something a lot of people do. Just something off the top of my head here. But yeah, let me go through this. So it's broken down week by week. In the first week, we kind of break down what to expect in the course. We give you an introduction, the benefits, examples of other companies. We've already shown you some of ours, but I give you even more examples. I kind of really dig into determining your niche and finding that pain and getting really specific, doing research. I talk about getting organized and planning, coming up with a brand name, using Google Drive, staying organized, coming up with a wish list of all the things that you want to do. And I even show you an example of my master document that I kind of created to create Evolutly and all the different things that I utilized for building that and how I kind of, put that into basically a master document. And then I get into, finding that partner and funding your project. I even give you some ideas of how you could do some things like crowdsourcing or maybe even taking out a loan. If you need a little bit of cash up front, there's ways to actually go out there and get pretty low interest rate loans through crowdsource systems. So I show you some really cool ways to do that. I then get into hiring a development team, building your back end. So you could learn how to actually go out there and, hire people on a platform like Upwork, how to approach and vet your prospects and make sure that you really hire a good developer. And then I walk you through actually getting the development side of things going, communicating with your developer. I did a method where I use a lot of short video clips to communicate with the developer since the time zones were so drastically different. I used a method where I'd go out and make little short videos hey, can you fix this? Or can you add this? And it took a lot of time, but it worked really, really well. And had I tried to do it over email or something, it would have been a failure. So I talk a lot about that and how you can do that. Getting into things like trials and creating payment gateways, using themes so you can actually build out your software and make it something that's going to be visually appealing. Then I get into testing and the beta phase. So understanding why testing your software is important and giving out beta access, tracking user feedback. I get into the training aspect of actually creating training videos for the software. And then the biggest part, which is where you're really going to make all your money, is actually marketing it and, doing all the things you need to get it going. So for example, I cover a whole section on how to build a page like this, where I did with Evolutly. And this utilizes a platform called ClickFunnels, which many of you may have already heard of. But we really dive into this and I show you some different options of what you could use for building your own sales page so you could really market this properly. And then I talk about some case studies. I show you pretty much step by step of how I went out and we made $12,000, $13,000 with Evolutly. I even show you another case study from another software tool called Phone Wagon, where this guy invested $40,000. I put an extra digit on that by accident. I got to fix that. It's 40 million, but yeah, I got to fix that. Then I go into some other things like hiring virtual assistants and doing cold email, finding people on LinkedIn, lots of other advanced strategies like guest blogging using Quora, different forums you could utilize, paid advertising, all different kinds of things you could do. Another thing that I've had some success with over the years is doing interviews with people. So that's like a really great way to do some networking and really expand your reach so you can get out there. And then I dive into like long-term support, you know, getting a help desk and utilizing some different systems. So it's a really comprehensive course. And we even include some bonus stuff like a task list template that you can see based on my own templates that I've used. So you can kind of take my own work and see exactly how I structured my entire build of the software when I built Evolutly. And even better, I actually did a 35-minute interview with Paul, and I basically just asked him questions the whole time, and he's talking about how he built Requestimate and all his other tools. And this is a really valuable interview that we're only giving away for people that jump into SaaS Evolution. So yeah, if you guys want to check it out, I don't know if there's a way like a chat box or something, but if you look in the description below, there's a link to, I think it's, let's see, I have it here. It's pauljames.com/SaaS Evolution. And you're going to get $700 off if you use the coupon code YouTube. So we're going to get you into SaaS Evolution. And this is something that,
do you want to show them how that coupon code works just so no one gets confused as well?
Yeah. So I'll bring it up here. I'll copy the coupon code. So if you're on the page here, you're basically just going to click on have a coupon, and you're going to put in code YouTube, and then you're going to hit apply, and it'll say, congrats, you've just saved some money. The discounted price has been updated above, and you'll see the price will change to $297. So again, you know, we're really giving you like a step-by-step here. You know, this was something where, you know, Paul was able to help me out. He's had a ton of success, as you guys saw at the beginning of the stream. I wanted to create something that was really solid, and we went out there and made over 12,000, 13,000 in recurring revenue. And now I'm giving you guys an exact blueprint of how I went out there and did that, a comprehensive step-by-step, nothing left out. Again, too, another thing I wanted to mention with my courses, I'm not like a one and done kind of guy. You know, if you come to me and say, hey, you know, I really wish that you had some more ideas on this, then I'll probably go back and actually record more videos and cover those topics, because I've had that happen with my other courses, and I always love improving them. I want people to get the most out of them. You know, this is something where, you know, I just want people to have success with this. And I know that if I can do this, then I know that you guys can do it too, because I had never even built software. This was my first time doing it. And, you know, we did a crazy amount of money. You know, anybody I know would love to get an extra $10,000 a year recurring. And, you know, I'm going to basically show you how to do it with SaaS Evolution. So if you guys have any questions, I know Paul's been in the chat.
Yeah, we have someone who wants to know how much they need to pay monthly and how much capital they need to start. So maybe if you want to toss the screen share back to me, I'll take over and kind of walk through some of the investments I've made to get softwares developed. And I mean, you can recap with Evolutly too, how much you invested to generate $13,000 in 7 days.
Yeah. Let me see. How do I give you control again?
Let's see. I think I can take it.
You can take it? Okay.
Okay, I got it. Okay, so this one was a software as a service. You can see here it generated almost 162,000, and this is recurring revenue. This one I invested $3,000 to get it coded. This is a mobile app that I built in an entirely new niche, leveraging no existing connections. It's doing $14,000. This is also recurring revenue. This is a monthly fee. People pay monthly. This one I invested around $300. This was a simple scraper that I built. Did a total of over 19 grand. And this one was done for, I think, around $800. This is another simple scraper. This one did almost 63,000. This one I think was around, I think this one was a little over 1,000, like around 1,200. Let me find some more. I've got some more examples as well. A lot of people don't think about WordPress themes, but WordPress themes are something that everyone uses, and you can get these coded for fairly affordable. This one, I did a total of $12,554. And this one I spent, I think, $500 to code. This is another one. $5,546. And then we actually sold the entire business off and exited from the entire business. This one, so a total of, almost 8 grand, 7 grand. This one, I didn't spend any money to get coded. I actually did a revenue share on that one. So I just basically split the profit. So you can actually find deals like that too by partnering with programmers. This is another one, 38,481 in a week in 7 days. Like I said, a lot of these softwares, that's the way we approach them. We offer special pricing for the first 7 days, and we close it down or we raise the price up significantly. This one, I don't remember the exact cost to code this one. I think it was less than 3 grand though. Almost positive it was less than 3 grand, like way less, but I don't know the exact amount. And then I think I've got one more to show you. Okay, another example of the special launch pricing, $25,147. This one was coded for, I think, under $1,000. So nice ROI on that one as well. And then, of course, we've got John's too. So there's John's stats right there, over 13 grand in 7 days. And again, recurring revenue, people are paying $200 a year. So recurring revenue on that. And John, what did we spend, 2 grand on that one?
Yeah, so between the two of us, we put in 1,000 each, and then that was basically it. Because we told the developer that he needed to basically do the whole thing for a fixed price. We didn't do an hourly based rate.
For sure. Someone's asking, how is the course delivered?
Yeah, so we actually utilize the Teachable platform. So as you saw, as I browsed through the syllabus, once you get in, you have access to everything. It's not like you're blocked by anything. You could literally go through the entire course today if you enrolled. There's nothing stopping you from going through as much as you want. The total time, if you're interested, it's about, the whole course is roughly, I think with the interview, it's almost 6 hours long. So you could also watch it on 1.5x speed. I've done that for my own stuff, and you can still consume it. I don't talk too fast. It's actually almost perfect if you want to consume it pretty quickly and then go take action. But yeah, I give you guys like everything you need to get going with it. So it's all a matter of how quickly you decide to take action on what it is you're doing. To give you an idea with Evolutly, due to the fact that it was a pretty complex software, it took about 5 or 6 months to actually get it from like the initial development phase to finished. But that was because of all the features and all the things that I wanted, and just making sure that it really worked properly. If you did something more basic, say like a WordPress plugin or something like that, I mean, you might be able to do that in a matter of weeks. So it really depends on how complex the idea it is that you're going to be working on, and what it is you decide to build. But yeah, I mean, it's a very popular thing to be doing. I mean, I even, as a matter of fact, I was listening to a story from a software developer. His name is Brett. And he actually went out, and he used to be a developer. Like, people were hiring him on freelance sites to build these softwares. And he would go out and build them, and people would launch them and make thousands of dollars off of his software. And he realized the potential of that. Now, obviously, he's a developer himself, but he was able to utilize the ideas that he was coming up with. And I think now he's doing over $1 million a year just from promoting other people's softwares, as well as creating his own softwares and launching them. So there's a ton of money to be made with software. It's very, very popular. And I'll tell you, being honest, a lot of his softwares are very, very basic. I mean, really simple WordPress plugins, things that just solve little tiny pain points, stuff that's very, very easy to create and really isn't all that complex. So, I mean, there's a lot of potential here. You don't have to build something that's necessarily going to be super crazy like Requestimate or Evolutly. I don't even necessarily always suggest starting out trying to do something that's going to be insane and like really hard to build. You could start out with something small just to do a proof of concept and just get something out there. And, then over time, I mean, that's kind of what Paul did. He started out with these scraper tools. He even gave one away for free just to like prove a concept of like, hey, is this software stuff going to work? And then eventually started building more complicated stuff that was really going to help people and charging a lot more money for it.
For sure. Another kind of interesting thing I thought I'd share, because we were talking about Teachable and how the course is delivered. So when I built this software, I actually had my developer build me basically a Teachable platform where they enter in their username and password. Well, that's actually the download page. So we actually guarded the download page too, so that they had to enter in a username and password. But we also basically built a teachable where they can't really enter any of the modules unless they enter in their username and password. So let me show you this. Just kind of cool and off topic. I mean, this could be a whole nother software launch in and of itself. People are making training courses all the time. And I mean, check it out. It's basically kind of like a mini teachable. And I could have, we could have made this a little bit different, but this is kind of how I wanted it laid out inside of the course. So he, built it exactly like that. Just a cool little membership site where people can go through my training for this particular software.
I think there were a couple other questions. Let's see. People selling courses, if the system worked, they would be making money off the software instead. Yeah, I mean, I know that in a lot of cases, like there's definitely opportunity to do a lot of like what Paul said. He's kind of got training and software. So there's a great way to do a combination of that. And I see that very commonly. So, you can be selling a training and then upselling them into a software, or vice versa, selling a software tool and then selling some additional bonus training. I see that all the time.
I think he's referring to saying that we're selling a course because we're not making money with software.
Oh, well, that's definitely not true, because Paul just showed you, he's made, I mean, geez, how much, if you combine total, how much you made off the software, you've got
multiple six figures for sure.
Yeah. I mean, he's making crazy money. So, I mean, we're doing a combination, we love, like, I love doing info products and creating online courses, but I mean, we made, 12, 13,000 off Evolutly. So, I mean, that's now a recurring, and we still have people interested in joining that all the time. The people coming in and saying, hey, can I get a membership? So we're doing both, because we wanted to help people do the same thing. Why not?
It's passive income too. Once the software is done, it doesn't require any more work, like very little work on our part to keep it going.
Ben asked, if I use the course and develop the program, would you be willing to partner with me to launch to the public? I'm going to let you answer that one, Paul.
I think it depends on the idea. If it's something that resonates with my people, it's definitely something that, I might consider, but no guarantees or anything like that. But yeah, if it's a quality product, I don't think that you would have a problem finding someone to partner with. If not me, I'm sure there's, like John just showed you on Munchai and JVZoo, there's hundreds and hundreds of people you could approach. And I can tell you one thing, if you come to someone with an idea that's already done, you're going to have a much better chance of, having someone partner with you, because it's just a no-brainer for them.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many people out there that are willing to, do this. And I was actually, I recently promoted a product that's all about Amazon affiliates. And basically the guy developed a tool. He was the developer. So in this case, maybe you're hiring a developer in your case, but he developed the tool and then he went and found someone to help him market it. And they created the landing page. They did the launch. He was the one who just developed the idea. And you could do the exact same thing in the sense that you could go out and have something developed. It could be something that works really, really well. It's going to help people make money, whatever it is, or help them do something more efficiently, more faster, whatever it is. And you could approach someone that's done a lot of launches, and they could help you build a landing page. They could help you build, get affiliates on board. And that's like the benefits of doing the joint venture stuff. So that's something that, you could definitely, there's so many people out there that are willing to do this. So.
Yep, for sure.
So what other questions you guys have? I don't know how delayed the chat is.
Yeah, I think it's pretty delayed, but yeah, I mean, we're happy to answer any more questions. The link is in the description. If it's something you guys want to do, definitely go ahead and check it out. Make sure you use that coupon code. You'll save yourself a ton of money. And thanks for hanging out with us too. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not a subscriber here yet. Hit that subscribe button. It'll notify you anytime I go live.
Yeah, give us some thumbs up if you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you guys learned a few things.
For sure.
All right. Well, I don't know if there's any other questions. I guess I know we're hitting right over the hour here.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and wrap it up then? Thanks for being here, John. Appreciate it. Definitely shared a lot of great stuff. I know a lot of people are putting in thumbs up, so awesome. Cool, guys. Thanks a lot, and we'll catch you next time. Again, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.